Hello, everybody, and welcome to High Roll Radio, episode number 25. My name is Nick Gangly DePasquale. I'm your host. Joined with me tonight, as always, my constant co-host, Mr. SPICYAPPIES. Appies, how you doing?
Good. How you doing? How you doing, eh?
I'm doing good. We need a counter for the show of like how many times we've started the show immediately met with your Italian American accent.
I mean, it's a staple at this point. It's not. It has to be what it is. It is what it is, Nick. It is what it is. It is what it is. You know, matzo ball.
All right. Well, it's not
so accurate.
Don't speak. You're not introduced yet.
Hey, he's gonna start screaming at you in Italian, Jack. You gotta fool it for a second.
Mamma mia.
So it's not just Appies and I tonight. Today we are joined by a good friend of the show, Mr. Jack. Actually, I don't know. I don't want to dox your last name. Mr. Jack CLE, Cleveland himself.
It is everywhere, but it's fine. Many time caller, first time guest. Excited to be here, hanging out, talking regionals, and just hanging out with friends too. So It's good.
So if anyone doesn't know Jack or CLE, so CLE TFT commentator, I think probably most well known at this point for your articles and interviews that you've done surrounding the Worlds content in particular. I mean, you do stuff for regionals. I feel like the World stuff is usually where you've gotten the most traction. But Jack is a really fantastic storyteller in the TFT space. And we're very lucky, and we've been working on for a while to get you on the show. This is the first time you've actually been. The schedule is kind of lined up with who we've had on. Oh my gosh, Sully's gone. Hold on, what happened there?
I'm back. Sorry.
Oh, he's back. So yeah, Jack, we're happy to have you on. Today is the regionals pre-show. So this week, at the end of the week, today is Monday the 24th. On Friday the 28th. The Golden Spatula for the Americas will kick off, and so this is our show to talk about news going on in TFT, and then we're going to preview all things regionals. And at the very end, maybe most excitingly, we're going to do a little fantasy draft and see how two TFT commentators can stack up against a Silver League of Legends player.
And not just any Silver League of Legends player, a Silver 3. League Legends player. I'm 12 OP right now. All right,
this guy's
put some respect on it.
You think they just honestly? I don't even feel like they hand out silver these days. Oh, they kind of do. I did go 1-4 in my placements and get silver too.
Your MMR, Nick, is you're like Diamond MMR, guaranteed, 100%. There's something going on behind the scenes with you.
They were like, this guy hit plat for 9 years ago. He's probably Diamond. Yeah,
gotta be at this point, right? You played enough games.
It's the investment, right? It's accruing over time. It's only growing. Let's move into some news as we get started straight onto the show. First thing, if you guys don't already, we've got a new home for High Roll Radio. We have a YouTube channel designated just to High Roll Radio. You can find it youtube.com/c/at. No, I think it's youtube.com/at High Roll Radio. Whatever it is.
I think so. Yeah. I think that's what it is.
Yeah, I think so too. It's High Roll Radio on YouTube. If you're not already subscribed to that, go do that now. That's where all the stuff is going to be posted. Main reason is that my YouTube channel was kind of getting cluttered, and I think the algorithm didn't really know what to do with stuff. So instead of, it felt like nothing was really getting shown to anyone. So we're trying something new, putting in a new home. At least you'll know with this channel, you'll only be getting High Roll Radio uploads. So nothing too shocking there.
He's trying to transition most of the main channel content to like Joe Rogan podcast reactions. So
makes sense.
Just if you want strictly High Roll Radio stuff, just go to @High Roll Radio on YouTube.
Yeah, the rest will just be alt-right conspiracy theories on Gangly TFT. So, at least you'll know what to expect.
Speaking of alt-right conspiracy theories, the Keystone Cup and Gangly's tournaments he's running.
What is going on with that, by the way?
What? Dude, do you see the difference when we have a commentator on the broadcast?
See that?
It's just so
that was a softball. That was right there.
Smooth as butter.
He was ready to roll.
Okay, so the Keystone Cup. This is going to be the first thing. We're going to have to sprint through the news a little bit. This
What is the Keystone Cup?
So Keystone Cup, the second installment of the Tri-State Online series. If you guys were here for the last episode, we talked about the Empire Open, where we had 3 out of 4 high roll radio in the top 8, won by Joe Bookmark. Surprise, surprise, once again, 3 out of 4 high roll radio sitting in the top 8 with Gangly out on the wings. Tied for 9th? No, wait, was I tied for with? I was 1 point.
You were both tied. You were both tied for 9th,
who was 9th though? Who was 9th?
It was CLE. CLE did outplace me. Wait, what? Was it by a point or did you beat me on tiebreaker?
Oh, it was.
I think it was tiebreaker, right?
It was definitely tiebreaker.
It was tiebreaker.
Yep. That was crazy. We all did super well.
Keystone Cup this time was won by replay, so that was pretty cool. We got to have the previous world champion competing in our tri-state event, and it came down to the wire. I don't know if you guys remember how it ended.
It was like, because he had a sack around to me, I think. Tropical went like 3rd or 4th.
Fourth.
That was crazy. It's kind of awkward when tournament meta stuff happens like that, but it's also really cool. I remember back in like, was it like set 6 Challenger series? There's a similar thing where like Sets Code like technically wanted to lose to me because then I would go out in the tournament, he'd get like probably enough points to get to a regional or something. It was like some weird thing like that, which is basically what happened here. But Replay just like played like a beast. He navigated the tournament, the overarching tournament meta rather than just the game to game thing, which is a cool thing that tournaments let happen. Which I guess cool is arguable there. Some people think that's pretty degenerate, I suppose, but it's some pretty cool stuff in my opinion. And it's like experiencing the game in a way that you can't really experience it outside of tournaments, which is just one more reason why tournaments in TFT are very, very cool, which Mr. Gangly TFT right here is now well aware of after entering not 1 but 2 tournaments in the same set and going top 8 in the first one and almost top 8 in the second one. But he's top 8 in qualifier points.
I am. I'm currently tied for 8th alongside Morse Tooney, I believe, for top 8 tri-state qualifier points. And if anyone is interested, please join the Tri-State Tactics Discord. We are going to be hosting online events all year long, and your qualifier points will carry over set to set until the end of the year, where we are going to be hosting something. We're working out the details. The goal is to do an invitational that includes both tri-state and out-of-region players, but your qualifier points, one way or another, will have a direct impact on whatever this end of the year event is going to be.
And there's more too. You get RP for doing well. If you don't care about the qualifier points, you also get RP.
Okay. I can announce this year because we haven't gotten to do this yet. Ready? Big announcement. In the past, we've given out eggs alongside RP. No more eggs. Eggs are dead. Instead, we will be giving out, what are they called? Treasure tokens.
No.
Treasure tokens with RP for all of our future events. That's right.
Messed up. That's
gambling time.
All of you gambling addict degenerates who just want the Gamba, you got that MF Chibi skin incoming. This is your time.
Oh my God.
That's right.
That's big. That's big news.
It's huge. And also another plus of playing these tournaments, you have Liquipedia data on you now. So if you search your name in Liquipedia,
it's true.
Nick does all the hard work and he gets all these results.
Cold winter night, you're feeling a little down, you need a little pick me up. You search your name on Wikipedia, you see Gangly TFT 6th in
you can see that I tied for second.
Empire Open.
You can see that I tied for second in a fight night. I don't talk about it too much,
Wait, what?
But yeah, I mean, it's a story for another time.
Oh, so you've been in Wikipedia then?
Yeah. I'm winner of school. I'm real old school, man.
Winner of the Keystone Cup's also like the most important thing on Replay's Wikipedia. So, I mean,
wait, does it show up on his front page?
No. Nope.
Oh man, we can dream though. Okay, I think we've talked enough about super pressing stuff. I think something that's worth talking about is that today they released the B patch for TFT. This is just a handful of days before the weekend. Jack, I know you've been playing a decent amount. You were climbing very well at the beginning of this patch. I don't want to talk too much about after you climbed very high.
I went second today on my one game of this patch.
That's huge.
The roller coaster's on its way back up. We won't talk about anyway. I
So
went up
you-
like
whoa.
200 LPs and down like 200.
Oh, I didn't realize you had the downswing already.
Yeah,
You were
no,
talking
it
about it.
already
You just, damn. It's self-fulfilling prophecy, I guess.
It's fine. It just happens.
It does happen.
Sully, I know you didn't play too much. Actually, did you play the patch prior to the B patch? Did you play this patch at all?
Yeah, no, I played the patch.
Okay.
There was an Bessa nerf, I think. There was a what was it? It was
There was
what's
no
her face?
Bessa
Mel got nerfed, I think, because she had like an insane win rate in mid lane.
Oh,
There was like a jungle thing. So Darius is better than
Yeah.
jungle now.
Yep, okay.
Yeah, I
This is
played the
good.
patch. Yeah, I
Yeah,
played the
yeah.
patch.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
So my experience with the TFT patch was that Joe Bookmark has been doom speaking in my chat. I've been on I guess we talked about this before. I've been on a league grind a little bit. The worst vacation ever. But so Joe Bookmark, winner of the Keystone Cup, or not the Keystone Cup, the
Empire Open.
Yeah, the Empire Open, has been telling me that this patch was the most egregious, like worst thing in the world. Like it was just Zeri and Quick Strikers, and I forget the other thing he said was, and then everything else was like really bad. So a V patch, it seems as if it was a good idea. According to the stats, it seems like there were just a few things that were like kind of super duper good, and then a lot of things that weren't super duper good. Which is really weird because I feel like the patch before that, the patch that
Right.
Mission Trials 2 was so good. Like it was so good. So I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems Family was the other one, right? Family was the other big one that's been, because you've been telling me too that Draven has been a monster in it, and he did get hit in this B patch.
And so the B patch, it does two things. The first is that it reverts some changes fully, which is that bottom part, I believe, are the full reverts. So Draven loses the attack speed buff, Akali loses the mana buff, etc.
They all get reverted.
Yeah, those are all reverted. Honestly, the shocking ones are like Vander and Draven. Oh, not shocking in the sense like, wow, I can't believe they reverted them. These were the changes that I think surprised a lot of people because they were in the patch to begin with, where Family was buffed multiple different ways. Sully, you were actually pretty vocal to me, even without playing this patch. Like, I can't believe they would want to buff Vander right now because you felt he was in a really good spot.
I'm surprised. I said at the time, but I was surprised you'd miss these games because I feel like you're always around a little bit. But I'd actually been playing a lot of Vander with no hero augment as a carry, and just like fast signing off of it, like game after game after game. Yeah, it was like I would just go like BT Titans IE or something like that, or BT Sound whatever, and then just play like 6 Watcher with Powder Vander dual carry with no hero augment Vander, and he would be one-shotting everything, and I would fast 9 like very very consistently off this, like probably at least 5 or 6 different games within a week. And they buffed him.
Yep. Well, and Watchers as well. Like, so Watcher got... Yeah. So Watcher, people were pretty down on Jack, like, prior to the patch. And then once the patch came out, it felt like everything were just Watchers everywhere. But the B patch didn't fully revert a lot of those changes that are, like, at the top there. I think the way they described it is, like, they wanted to split the difference. How do you feel about the changes that you saw coming out today?
Yeah, I think they're really good. I think Sorcerers being back, they fully reverted that one.
Were they just bad last patch?
Oh, is that a full revert?
Yeah, that's what it says above there. If I remember how to read. And yep. And
you're right.
I think Sorcerers just being in the meta is just better for the game because there's so many flex lines that can be played around that with different front lines. And so like that was one of my favorite parts of last patch was just Sorc flex. And I think having some of these other things that are still much better with snipers and some of those things, I think this is going to land pretty well, especially with Watchers coming back down to earth. So Sentinels and Bruisers are better and all those things.
Yeah. It seems like maybe a lot of these buffs just kind of overlap too. Because I know there was a sniper buff, right? And then a Watcher buff, and both the 2-cost Watchers got buffed. So then all of a sudden, like, not only the 2-cost Watchers and anything that gets played around them, like immediately, like Family or just like Vander or something, get super good, but then obviously Zeri would get really good because she just can play Watcher Trolling anyways. So I feel like a lot of these things just like snowball a little out of control. The Akali nerf as well, or the Akali buff is something I was surprised by in the patch because an auto off of Akali is pretty huge, and Quick Strikers were like already very very strong. I feel like I was TF like my TF was far and away the line I would default towards the most because it's just very consistent on stage 3. Lets you like get player unlocked on stage 4 or a reroll thing, and Akali was a big part of that because Akali with like anything. I played like double BT Hodge Akali, and she just like goes, or double BT Titans Akali, and she just goes crazy. And like is the extra front line, extra damage, and so I was surprised with that. And I'm not really surprised that they're reverting that because there weren't any actual TF nerfs or Loris nerfs, if I'm not mistaken, right?
I don't believe so. No, because I mean, if there were, then it didn't do anything because Quick Strikers, I would say, this like alongside Zeri have been the strongest reroll line from
that's the word on the street
prior to B patch. Oh yeah, go for it.
So go ahead. Oh, I was gonna say that the thing that I am interested in and also was really sad about is that Urgot got nerfed again, and we both love Urgot. I know you want to talk about this.
This is what I was gonna bring up. Urgot has gotten nerfed to the ground, but I do know that the way that they had nerfed him up to this point in time, if you kind of take it step by step, is that so you might need to kill your cam, turn it back on.
1 second.
They had killed his HP, killed his defenses, then they brought down his AD. Now, I don't know if this is a full revert or if this is actually a buff, but at this point, they gave him an increase in attack speed for this patch, and now they're reverting his AD, and I stand to wonder if, just maybe, backline Urgot is viable right now. Because we also had Nunu buffs. We also had Nunu buffs this last week.
Really? Nunu's good.
So it was Nunu buffs and now 2 Urgot AD, but backline Urgot AD buffs.
I hope so. I mean, that's my favorite board in the game to play. Is like the Nunu backline Urgot thing. That's for anyone who does not know. I like basically one tricked that for like 2 weeks. I played like maybe 12 out of 20, and Nick and I worked on the line a ton, and it was super fun, and we were the only ones playing it. And then the frontline Urgot tech came out, and everyone started playing Urgot. And it's really hard to ever play it again.
Yep.
So,
Nick was coaching me one day on the line, and I went like 8-8, and then I went like 4th, and I saw the light.
That's right. You just didn't get it, man.
I was literally like I was like 1, 2, 2, 4. I could not bot 4 on that line, and I was top 2 like a ton. It was I mean, it was a time to be alive. I was like I had my planner had 2 things in it at all times. It had Lux to check Academy, and it had Urgot, just because it had to be, you had to have them in.
Yep.
I think just the one other thing about this patch is Corki being buffed just a little bit more is really helpful for a lot of the flex lines because Corki just fits into so many different comps.
Corki Watcher became a thing, right?
Yeah, and I think like Academy Corki will be a lot better, and then like AD Emissary Corki will be better. Yeah. So I think that's really helpful.
I really hope that we get to see more of the Emissary line come back. I love that. My favorite patch was the Empire Open patch when the Emissary line was really strong. I just felt like
Nashor's and
Bessa. Highlight of my career. I just think there's a lot of really cool things you can do with that line, and you can play at various tempos and with a handful of different units on 8. So it's nice to have a line that has designated flex spots for what you're able to hit on level 8. I think that's good enough for the B patch. I say we leave it there because we've got a handful of other things to cover. Esports TFT news. We should talk really quickly about the Tacticians Cup number 2, second major event of the set, won by Dissoap, who with this win claims his second domestic title since in his TFT career, which actually sounds surprising to say aloud, but his only other win comes from the regional finals in set 10. So the first time we actually saw him win a regular season tournament.
Winning is tough. It's hard to win a game that has as much variance in it as TFT. To win a tournament rather in a game like TFT. So winning 2 is huge. I think there's like a small list of people that have actually won 2 events, if I'm not mistaken.
True. It's probably less than 10 people.
Yeah.
And look at those last 5 games. 1-1, 2-1-1. I mean, like he didn't just win this tournament. He smurfed day 3.
Yeah.
So
it was like a 4-point lead, right? If I'm not mistaken, something like that over me.
Yeah, something like that. And also, I just want to like look at the rest of this graphic and seeing like Spencer and Soju in this top 8 as well. It just feels like the good old days a little bit. And Setsuko also. Yeah, I don't know. There's just a lot of big names. I don't feel like that's, especially last set, was not the case. A lot of these cups had a lot of more random names at the top. And this time around, it was taken a lot more seriously. I wonder if it's because of the change of format with QP being a lot more impactful. But I mean, it seemed to work out this set for a lot of the bigger name players.
Yeah, it's actually funny you bring that up, Jack, because when I look at this top 8, if you told me that this was maybe not a set 6 tournament exactly because Distop was kind of just on the come up in set 6, but it's this mix of like Spencer and Soju and Kevi Zhao as well, who found success back in set 5. He was the Nightbringer Cup winner in like one of the first ever cups that we really had.
Yeah.
You remember that? Oh, didn't you compete in that event?
Probably. I competed in set 5. I did not do well.
No, you didn't.
I did compete.
That was right before your blossoming into set 6.
Set 6, right? Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me coming out of the Tacticians Cup number 2 was Spencer. Spencer won Tacticians Cup number 1, right? Keep that in mind. Yeah. So we went 1-3 back-to-back tournaments. That is not easy to do. And quite frankly, he had a decent chance to actually win the entire tournament. You know, if he goes first, Dish Soap goes 8th in that last game, then Spencer's the one that actually wins the event. Could have gone back-to-back. He had a tragic last game. If I remember correctly, he's playing Renata and just could not hit anything to save his life. Yeah. Oh, you actually you were co-streaming with Frodan for that event, right, Jack? How did you feel watching it live?
Yeah, I wasn't there for the last 2 games, but there was just some really high level TFT being played. I like, and I'm sure we'll talk a lot about these people because a lot of them made it to regionals. But we were watching a lot from even Soju playing Sorks excellently. I mean, we were joking about calling him K3 Sork, but it was just a lot of good flex play. I mean, the patch was so good that it just was really fun to watch. I feel like I learned a lot.
Cool. All right. Well, we are half an hour into the show. I don't want to waste too much time because we've got some real meat and potatoes before us. So regionals is this weekend. And so we thought it would be fun if the three of us collectively made a little tier list of the players in the regional field. Now, you can see if you're an audio only listener, we'll do our best to kind of narrate where everyone lands, but our tiers are not S, A, B, C, D, E, F. What we did instead is we wanted to categorize players into different boxes. And what we mean by that is that some players are favorites to win the event. Some players are entering regionals with other things at stake. Some players are going into regionals with people looking for specific things from them. And so we kind of wanted to just talk about a mix of like the expectations of players, but also some of the narratives of them as well. So we're going to go one by one and put all these players into different categories, which are favorites, contenders, day one or W, which is more like what form are they showing up in, underrated, unknown quantities, underdogs, lots of unders, and temper expectations. Jack, you and I talked a lot about this last category, temper expectations. And my kind of pitch for this was, I think that there are players in the field who don't need to go first in order to make a statement. There are players, and it does sound, I could see someone saying like, oh, aren't you just saying that they're not good? I think that there are players where they have histories either choking at the end or coming really close to qualifying and then just coming up short, or even players who are completely new in an absolutely stacked field where, in my personal opinion, I feel like going 12th to 16th would actually say a lot about your first ever regional finals.
And I think it has to do a lot with just some of these players that we don't know or got in via means that weren't like via QP, right? These players that are super consistent all the time. And so it's like, oh, you got into regionals to this cool thing that, I mean, we've created this ecosystem where random, almost seemingly random players can get in through having some like one beast performance. And now you're in regionals. Right. Congratulations. You're awesome. And if you go top half, like we are, like, well done. Yep. You're crushing it. Yeah.
All right. Let's just get straight into it. See how we feel. So first one is Spencer. I mean,
that's
Spencer has gone first and third this set. Historically, I mean, back in set 5, I did rank him as the best tournament player in North America. I don't know if anyone remembers that video that I made. I think and he's coming off a world spot, right? In set 12, a world's run.
And he's not playing League of Legends.
For now. I
Wait,
personally
does he
feel
play
like
League?
oh, he's a beast.
Oh, is he? I mean, I
yeah.
bet he has like crazy hands, doesn't he?
Yeah.
That's like his whole thing is that he has crazy. Oh, it was his whole
was
thing,
his thing,
back in
yeah.
the day that he had crazy hands.
Does anyone have any issue with putting Spencer as a favorite?
I have no issue, but there is an interesting story that I would like to bring up around Spencer, is that if he wins regionals and wins worlds, does he contest for the best set of all time?
No,
No.
Malala is by far.
I think I hear what you're saying, but I think like the shock factor of Vegas into KDA Cup, into second at regional finals, into winning worlds it's
just too much.
It's just too much.
I don't disagree. I was wondering if there's any way in a set without like an open, like we have, for anyone to ever touch that. Even if Spencer would have won TC2, you don't think that would have been, if he goes 1-1-1-1 this set?
Well, he had to win the open too.
Yeah, he would have had to
Because
win
it wasn't
Macau.
open this set.
He would have had to win Macau.
Okay. If he would have
It
won
wasn't open
Macau,
this set. I
Understood.
think if you win like everything, you maybe contest. Like if you win like every regional of every like America's event and then win worlds, sure. But like winning the open and then winning worlds is just, and then going second at regionals, because it was really, really close regionals, so he almost just won regionals.
It was tied.
Like
He
that
lost
was
a tiebreaker for first.
Yeah, it was the golden. It was almost the golden road.
Yeah.
Crazy.
And he made final day at the other cup too. He did like kind of bomb out in the final day. I think he got like 31st or 32nd, but like he made final day of every event and won 3 of the 5 that he entered. And he got second at one of them. It's just I don't think it will ever happen again. I would be utterly shocked if we ever give anybody else in the history of the game a better set than Malala's set 10.
Agreed.
Understood.
Yeah. 100%.
Understood. It doesn't
All right.
seem like it's possible because he's on that run, but
Yep. Speaking of the golden goose himself, we got Malala.
I
Jack.
put him in favorite.
Oh, do you think favorites?
Yeah, I would.
I would probably not put him there. I would probably put him in day 1 or W. I feel like Malala is often just if you look at his tournament results over the past few sets, that's been his case. Is like he either is in final lobby or is out day 1 and has no qualifier points because of it. He had to go top 4 in this tournament. That's how he qualified, was through TC2, and so because he flamed out in TC1. So that would be why I put him there. What?
Did he played TC1?
I'm pretty sure.
I can check. I
my opinion on all is that he often he's one of those guys who just like plays when he cares about playing, and then when he cares about playing, he does good enough to do. He's well enough to like get to what he has to do. But if he did play TC1 or the first one and then flame out, then I would be down to move him.
Yeah. He did flame out in TC1.
Okay.
Well, he has 19 games played, so I believe that means he would have gotten. Wait. 6,
I think he was in trials in
I think he lost in trials in TC1.
Yeah.
I think he lost in trials. I think I would agree with you guys on day 1 or W.
There's people in chat saying word on the street is TC2 is by far the best he's ever been since set 10, but also like there's no one ever watches the games, man, and no one ever no TFT player actually watches someone else's games at TFT and does anything other than be like, I would not take anyone's word about anything like that. And
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. If it's really a study group, is it a study group just saying like what he said about his own play? Which I mean, sure, if he's saying it's the best he's played since then, it's like still it's him saying it. So I don't know. I don't think like there's no way anyone actually watched the games. Just saying.
I think that Malala is oftentimes either underrated or overrated. And I think that for that reason, I would agree with you guys that it's a day 1 or W. Because I think it's really just a form-dependent thing. Malala in form can do well. I would not consider him a favorite for the event. But if he plays like he did in set 10, and if TC2 is any indication of what he's going to be like, then he definitely could be a favorite. But I'm not confident that he's a favorite for the event.
And my understanding of this category is it's like they are a favorite or they're going to go last. Like it's usually like one or the other. Not that he's going to go last, but like they're a favorite but they also could go last. Like
That's fair.
it's very dependent on where they're at.
Yeah. Okay, let's move on to Cookies OP. And this is a player that I think all three of us are probably not super familiar with. What I can say is that Cookies, like Malala, had no qualifier points going into TC2 and made the run going top 4, or actually got 5th, right? And got in, were they 5th or 6th maybe? And got in because the other players in the top 8 were...
Yeah, because Dish Soap, Spencer, and
Tetsuko were already in.
Tetsuko had already gotten in. Yeah, Cookies and Kevy get in.
Cookies, just for some context, I do have some notes. Cookies has kind of been around in a handful of different events, has made final weekend before.
The name's familiar.
Has actually even made final day, but also has multiple times where they've just bombed out, like fell in trials. I mean, it happens to everybody, but Cookies doesn't really have like the longevity that would, in my opinion, make them a consistent threat. And I don't think
Sounds like underdogs a little bit.
Yeah, I don't think I would consider them a contender or even underrated because no one really knows about them. Probably either unknown quantity or underdog. These just two are kind of similar. I guess the only distinction
It sounds like he's a known quantity. He just, like, he could do really well. Like, he's been in events, right? We've seen his placement.
Yeah,
I would say underdogs is. Not that I haven't. I don't know how he's playing. You're the one who's done the research.
I did a quick interview with Cookies, and this was my favorite part of it. I was like, "What's your hope for this tournament?" And he said, "Just high roll for 3 days, and yeah, F it, I'm going to Worlds."
Nice.
So
all right.
that's the underdog mentality right there.
That sounds like an underdog to me. All right, let's move on to Kevy Zhao. I feel like Kevy's also in the underdog category because Kevy has been around, has competed. He's not a full unknown, but I think that anyone who qualifies into the Golden Spatula based on top 4 at the final cup, I think they're always kind of viewed as just like a high roller. You know, I feel like people don't really respect those runs as much as others. And so I imagine that most people are not rating him particularly highly.
Oh, who was saying you had qualifier points for qualification as well? Even though the top 4.
He got in through. Well, he had QP, but you get in. It sorts by qualifier points first, or I'm sorry, tournament result first.
By results first, yeah.
Right. So did he have enough qualifier points regardless, though, as well?
He did.
He was. Yeah. I forget where he was though. I feel like he was probably like top 15, right, somewhere around there. He wasn't like he wasn't like crazy high on there for sure.
He's ranked 8.
What?
Oh.
For QP, he's got 140.
Interesting. So he made final day both times, right? I believe he went like 32nd and then 5th. So maybe that's why. Because the thing that stood out was that his like AVP was relatively low, but I think it's one of those things where it's like your AVP is lower because you made final day and then you had to play more games and you had a not great day. So it kind of ruined your stats, but it kind of is a lie because the fact that you made it there is still more impressive than not making it there.
Yeah, my argument for Kevy would be put him in underrated just because I don't even think he's an underdog because he plays so many games and had a really good set. And people are surprised when I say he's got 8th most qualifier points. Like this guy's actually just good and people are underrating it.
Yeah. I was gonna say I think the perspective I have on probably the perspective I can have on a lot of these players is just like playing with them, and Kevin Zhao is always a player who like he just is like when he's in your lobby. Kevin talks about this a lot, right? Like the idea of like the kind of the pressure someone puts on in a lobby, right? Like how you can kind of tell how good someone is as you're playing with them just because like you'll feel it. And Kevin Zhao is one of those players that like when you play with him, he does feel like he's very good.
Do you want to know the real reason you should be afraid of him? Is that he's the tri-state representative at the Golden Spatula.
Wait, is he tri-state?
He's tri-state. He was at TC2 or 3, one of those.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
I know. I don't think we really
even better. Okay, well,
much,
favorites then. Fuck it.
Okay.
This next one's a favorite though. I'm not budging on this one.
Oh, really?
I would go day 1 or W.
I would go contender.
Ooh, I feel like Rain's either really hot or really cold. in my opinion.
So Rain was definitely very hot this last event. She was popping off. I remember I watched the Frodo & Co stream when I was flying back from Genesis, and everyone was just talking about how good Rain is. When I was doing my prep stream, there were a million chatters talking about how amazing Rain is. People are really hot on Rain. I feel personally like I'm always a little bit lower on Rain, mainly because I have felt for a while that even when she's not in form, people hype her up a lot, and she hasn't really shown the same form that she did in set 7 since then. But I feel like that hasn't really changed her reputation to a lot of people. So I don't normally believe community sentiment about Rain. But I do think that when she is really hot, she is a favorite. I just don't know.
I 100% agree. I think her highs are like some of the highest in TFT, like in the world. But I think she also has some like I think she just runs more hot and cold than a lot of other players. I think like she has some days where she just like Day 1 W feels a little weird almost as like the third rank. It can't really be tiered because like Day 1 W like they can win the event for sure.
Yeah,
but they can also just in my opinion I think it would be I think she's either going to win the event or like have a hard time likely. Or not even have a hard time, but just like have a weird day maybe, right? Because she's her peak is like insane. It's just like how she shows up on the day, in my opinion.
Yeah, I could see Day 1 or W because of that reason. It's a very similar like she could absolutely smurf in everyone and go Robin scoreline and win the whole thing, or maybe something happens. Maybe this B patch isn't for her, or she hasn't prepped that much on this and she gets lost. But the TC2 performance has got me saying I'm picking her. I'm going on Fantasy TFT, and she's my captain, and we're riding it to the championship. So,
fair.
Okay, I'm fine. I'll defer to you guys. I don't feel super confident one way or another. I don't know.
I haven't been watching for what it's worth. No one's been watching, but I haven't been watching. So.
To me, the contenders tier, I think of like the A tier players. Like favorites, I think of like S. Contenders, I kind of think of A. And I feel like Rain, in my mind, is an A tier player. I would not consider her an S tier player. But I know that people are saying that right now she is. I think
she like can be for sure.
I think there's a lot of players that could be.
Well, I don't even think that's true. I think she is more often than I think her peak is like better than it's like as good at least as all the like best players. I don't think most people's peaks are as good as all the best players. I think she hits that peak more often than any other player in that conversation than like the hot or cold players. But I think she does run hot or cold, in my opinion. But she like the peak is like S plus tier. But there are weird days.
Let's stick with Day 1 or W for now. We can circle back if we need.
Yep.
Dank memes.
Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I was gonna say it's like weird because like the Day 1 W is like it doesn't feel like she's probably one of my favorites to win the tournament. Like if she's on, she's gonna win the tournament.
But also if she got Day 1, it would be surprising, but it wouldn't feel out of the question.
It could happen, it could happen to anyone. To be fair, I think like for them, I think like I would say if she's on, she's more likely to win the tournament than like anyone else. But if she's off, she's more likely to go Day 1. If she has an off day, she's more likely to go Day 1 than anyone else.
Then
anyone else, like the other they're like the other favorites.
Exactly.
Yeah.
All right, let's keep her here. Let's move on to Dank memes, and I'm gonna make the pitch for underrated. I think Dank memes went into last set, qualifying into the regional final or to the Golden Spatula, and he was in this category of players that are just like, who are these people? The not so usual suspects is the term I used on broadcast. And, I think he's gotten way more attention this set, but I don't know that, and maybe I have the wrong read on like community sentiment. I don't think that people consider him in the contenders tier. I think that he is though when he's on, and I think that he has shown over the last 6 months that he belongs here, but I feel like people don't give him enough credit.
Yeah, I would put him there, but also I agree. He's like underrated, but also a contender. Like the knowers know, but the not knowers don't know.
Yeah, contenders is like the contenders who people believe they belong there.
He was kind of the person that we looked at from our Worlds like roster last set, and everybody was like, "Oh, Dank memes made it." But then he went top half and had a really good showing, and we were like, "Oh wait, this guy might be really good." And then we watched him this set, and
Yeah,
he's fourth in QP
he's super good.
and just absolutely crushing it.
Yep.
And so
He
he's
just plays good
definitely
TFT.
underrated.
I mean, this is like a different metric, but and I play weird TFT a lot, and I often like people look at me play TFT and they don't like how I play TFT. I like how people play TFT and they don't like how they play TFT. I like how he plays TFT. I have a very good opinion
Stamp
of how.
approval.
Yeah.
Speaking of contenders, I feel like this next one on the list, Prestovin, to me is the epitome of a contender.
Always.
I think that Prestovin has had moments where he has played just as well as any of the favorites. When I think of favorites, I'm thinking like the big four of North America. We have Spencer here. But Prestovin is still missing that like flash in the pan, right? He needs that moment, that one tournament to like propel him into stardom, and hasn't really had. He hasn't had like the multiple top 8 finishes that people look to him as like, yeah, he's a contender to just win at any given tournament. I feel like he's on the cusp of that, but he's not there yet.
I feel, I would definitely pick from underdogs personally. I would be surprised if he won the tournament. That's true for any tournament that he's in. I think for the similar reason where like he just hasn't had that. Like I would say if he won the tournament, I would be surprised. I don't know. This is definitely not current form. So this is just like historical and how we've seen them. And
a lot of this is like
what's he done this set? Out of curiosity.
He did well. He made final day TC2. I'm struggling.
He did okay, right?
At the top.
Like,
no, I think he did well. Like well. Yeah. He made final day in both events.
Yeah, fifth in QP. Like he's doing really well. Obviously, this guy works harder than almost anyone else, and I think Preston really needs this win. Like he really wants it
he
to
has a
move
hard
out of
time
this contenders
closing.
category. Yeah,
he's the new.
But he's
I think he needs a win to move into the contenders category. Personally,
okay. I think you're being a little too hard on him, to be honest. So like
maybe
so I think something that people don't know about Preston is that in the last 3 sets since the merging of the Americas, he's had a sub 4.0 AVP in every single set. And he's made final day, get ready for this, in 7 of his last 10 events. So
that's a lot.
He gets there. He gets
so
really
is it underrated?
close. I don't think he's underrated because I think anyone who's in that group of like Soju study group is going to be rated extremely highly. I almost feel like people rate him without knowing.
I feel like a lot of people wouldn't say he's gonna. I think he's in that group obviously. But I think if a lot of people, they won't have done the research that you guys have seen that that you've done, right, Nick? That he's had this like historically really great set of performances, and he would be underrated. I don't think most people are gonna say Preston's gonna win this tournament.
I want to push on this. I really think that
I think he's contender.
That he's a contender tier.
Sure.
I feel passionate about this one.
I do want to say real quick just about these tiers is it's not we're making this in a tier list maker, but it's not in order of like obviously favorites is favorites, but like day one
I think
or W
Rain's much better than Preston right now.
Yeah. These aren't ordered tiers for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
So it's not
it
really
might just be more clear if we do this though.
Day one or W above it.
If we just for people, because I do think that there is a bit more of a natural order here.
So much better might be an order. I know much better is a strong word when everyone's this close and skill level, but I think Rain is. I would expect Rain to win before I expect Preston to win. I guess is
right.
But would you expect Malala to win before Preston?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I would.
Okay.
Yeah.
I would expect Preston to be in final lobby.
Yeah, maybe more times. Yeah, more times, but also win less.
We do have to. we might have to pick up the pace a little bit, okay? Because we are at 8:50 right now. And we still got a lot of people and a fantasy draft to do. So next on the list is JD Zielinski.
He's Joe's friend. He's Joe's friend favorites.
What? What are you saying?
He's Joe's friend favorites.
I feel
I would put him in contender, but that would be.
So I think this is actually probably this has more to do with how much Frodan I think has talked about JD Zielinski, and I actually just don't know because I think he could either be a contender or underrated. But just so you and Sully, I don't know if you know this, but JD was the only player to really contest Dissoap, Setsuko, and Weijin for snapshots into Golden Spatula. He was fourth in snapshots. And on top of that,
That's
also
huge.
qualified in through qualifier points. So
Yeah, I mean, he's very good. He plays very good TFT. Again, having played with him, he's one of those players that you just know is very good when you play with. And all these people are for what it's worth. But yeah, he's very good, 100%.
I think I might have put him. Yeah, I put him A+ tier in my Gangly Power Index for Frodan. Like I am very high.
I'm high on him too.
I'm very high on JD.
Yep.
I wouldn't be surprised if he took it for what it's worth.
It's more a question of like, is he underrated or is he just like a contender? Like I feel like it's probably just contender.
I think the only argument I would have for contender is this is his second Golden Spatula appearance and in the past 4 sets. So actually third in the past 4 sets, but 2 of the last 3.
He got like
and so
10th
contender
at one of them, the last one though, right? That he in set 11 didn't he get 10th or 9th? He was very close to making final day.
Yep.
I think the transformation of JD Zielinski in the last 3 sets cannot be understated or cannot be overstated. He has really transformed his brand and just his perception since the merging of the region. So, but yeah, let's keep him contender for now.
Yeah,
agreed.
Cambly.
Pretty good.
My gut says underdog, but I feel like he's slightly above that, like in terms of like his ability. Like it would shock me if he won the event. It wouldn't shock me if he did well, right? I think that's kind of how I feel.
Yeah. Agreed.
Yep. Underdog's good. Yeah. I'm excited to see him back at this stage. So
was it set 11 or set 12? It was either 10, 11 or 12 that he had the best set of his career. I feel like it was 11, right? Because wasn't he kind of close to qualifier points with Sox going into Tacticians Cup 3, and then Sox won the event and ran away with it. I'm pretty sure that's what it was. So
yeah, he went 31st at last regionals. And so just really looking to make another run at it. Like it's cool for him to make it back and now finally have another shot. So definitely underrated because of his last performance, but has a good chance of really setting that straight.
Yep.
Moving into some other category other than underdog.
Let's move on to Darth Nub or Darth Noob.
I like how he plays.
You like how he plays?
I like how he plays.
I would go for it. You take this one.
I think my personal opinion would be contenders, but I think we're not doing enough personal opinions. It's off of historical performance, and I have no idea what that looks like for him.
I will say his historical performance it's messy. He has messy. A lot of advancement and then a lot of really bad performances. So his career AVP is like up to set 11 when I like stopped tracking it was like 4.7. But if you look through his Liquipedia, you'll see a lot of really good results.
Yep.
So I wouldn't actually put him in day 1 or W, but he resembles these players to me, where it's like when he does well, but he's very susceptible to bombing out, and that at the regionals field is very scary.
This is what the Maker feels weird, I guess. Where it's he
was one placement off going to Worlds back in 9, the records. Yeah. And so like I think he probably is just underrated in my opinion based on that, but underdogs is good too. I like he's in either of those categories. I wouldn't put him up at the top because he hasn't really done anything recently that makes me want to be like, yeah, he can just win the whole thing.
I'd put him in underdogs. But Sully, it sounds like you would vote more for underrated.
I would, yeah. I think a lot of that. I think the difference between underdogs and underrated is just like perception, like community perception. And I would say that community perception would put him in underdogs. I think is.
So but because community perception would put him in underdogs, doesn't that make him underrated?
I mean maybe there should be one category.
No, but I don't think Dank Muse is an underdog, but I do think he's underrated.
Okay, then I would say underrated for Darth Nub. Yeah,
I would say underrated as well.
All right.
Yeah, I think he's very good.
Bosso. I strongly believe that Bosso is day 1 or W. I think that
I can get
Basso
behind that. Yeah,
I can get behind that.
I think that speaks for itself.
this guy can be so good at TFT, or he just like bombs out
Runs it
on
down,
day
yeah.
one, runs it down, and even when he runs it down, people are still so high on him. People love talking about people really value Basso Skill's opinion, and I think he's just a very form dependent player. I think that he could make top 8, but he definitely could bomb out.
I have an anecdote for this. Or maybe this is a better word. I mean, it's an analogy. Yet. Don't correct me if you know, because I don't really know. Or maybe do correct me rather. So I had a game today of League where I played Vex and I flashed on the enemy mid laner and I ignited them and I full comboed them and I died to the tower and they had 8 HP left and I got first blooded when I wanted my first blood, right? And Basso is either that or he's doing the 8 extra damage and living there, and that epitomizes Basso for me. Is that he's either like having some weird thing that's gonna make him fuck up the rest of the time, or he is gonna just get that kill and steal 15-0 that game.
Yep.
Also, fuck that Swain. He should have died.
Yep.
Basso this set went 5th in TC1 and 62nd, getting day 1 in the second cup. So like it's exactly what this is.
Hey, no, 62nd is day 2 and then go dead last on day 2.
Day 2 and dead
That's
last.
kind of worse.
Sorry.
Yeah. Basso Skills definitely lives on a razor's edge, so I think we're all in agreement there.
Yep.
Ego Illusions. I don't know if this is a hot take.
idea.
This is my personal take. I put him in favorites.
Agreed.
I'm down. I'll defer.
Yeah, Ego Illusions is the only player since the merging of the regions to consistently contend with the big 4 of North America and AVP over the course of the last 3 sets. He made Worlds last set. This guy is basically, historically, at this point in time with the new era, the best player of all time from Brazil. I think that he not only represents Brazil and does well. I would not only be proud to have Ego Illusions represent Brazil, I would be proud to have him on the world stage representing the Americas. He is the Brazilian player that I'm excited to watch and have a chance to see them representing our region globally.
One of the most consistent players, the most consistent player of all time, and I have no problem putting him in favorite.
Oh, and he is one of only 2 players in the world to have made every single regional final since the dawn of TFT. There are only 2 players in the world. The other one? Double 61.
Double 61.
Woo!
Yeah.
All right. You know, I have 2 friends who really think he's a great player, and that's why I think he's really good.
There we go.
Agreed. Sold.
Okay, up
Oh,
next.
their picture's so cute. It's a raccoon.
So this is Copico, a.k.a. Vapacasa, another Brazilian player.
I would say favorites just because I've never seen a raccoon play TFT before, and that's huge.
This is them. Yes, I see.
Their Twitter photo was just a picture of a raccoon, so I was like, well, that's his personality now. Here we go.
That's huge. I have no idea how this...
I don't know much at all.
So I'm reading my notes on them because actually I forgot everything that I wrote about them. I'm reading my notes right now. So Copico has made it to the final lobby in Brazil before, so has some domestic results, has never actually been able to like clinch it into a world's qualification, hasn't consistently made the regional finals even domestically when it was just Brazil. I would say that Copico, the one thing they have going for them is that they're, a veteran. They've been around for a while. They have competed under pressure. I would consider them an underdog going into the event. I would be very surprised if Copico made top 8.
I would put them in unknown. They don't have enough regional, like international results for me to put them even in underdog. Because there's just I don't know enough about them with the cross server play. That's where I would put them, but
they have. I
agree.
I feel like they. Hold on, let me check.
This is their first golden spatula. So the first one that since the merging of regions. They've been to 3 other of the Pro Liga. How do you say that? One of those
Legends?
ones, the Brazilian.
The Pro Legends.
Yeah, one of their finals 3 times.
Yep.
And so they've been good, but never great. And again, this is the first time on that cross server.
Yeah, but I mean, I feel like if there's any Brazilian watching and they're like, wait, how can you say he's an unknown quantity when he's played consistently in our competitive circuit since set 7? I feel like that's not super fair to put him as like an unknown quantity.
Yeah, understood. To me, he is an unknown quantity, which
but like
makes sense.
All of us, he's an unknown quantity. But I feel like it
is
where it's hard
thing, though. Like, what's the overarching public perception, right? Like how. Because if Brazil knows him and NA doesn't know him, I guess you can't really quite put him in.
All right, you know what would help? I think it would help if we actually put unknown quantities in. Because I can tell you exactly who I would put in unknown quantities right off the bat.
Yep, I got you.
Sakura.
Go ahead. Yep.
Metzao.
Yep.
Franza B.
Yeah, but those also could be... Never mind.
Oh, wait.
Metsua... is definitely somebody I'd put at temper expectations. But
yeah, actually, I agree with you. Because then, like, to me, I feel like Kopiko doesn't belong in this category with Franze and Sakron.
Okay.
But that's just me. Because he's been around and we have results and we have data we can look at.
Yeah, I think Pizza is unknown quantity as well.
Oh, yeah, Pizza as well. Agreed.
Good name, though.
Great name.
Made him for dinner.
Did you?
I did. Yeah, I made some homemade pizza today.
Sick. I would like to say I did a little bit of an interview with Sakuran before we just moved past them. Is that their mentality is awesome just about TFT. They were talking a lot about how they really VOD review a lot. They watch more than they play. And they focus on like the very little things that, is very game dependent. Is like I really could have gone +1 placement here, and I went sixth instead of I could have gone 5th. And so I just think they think about the game, and I think we'll see them back after this. They're on their way up.
Oh yeah.
Do you guys think there's an argument to like combining unknown quantities and temper expectations?
Like how North America was combined NA and yeah,
like
I'm not. You know where I was going with that.
The reason I say that is that when we were talking about this temper expectations thing, it's more like so Metao, for instance, and France B. These are two players that are coming from winning the sub-regional event in LATAM, right? Neither one of them performed particularly well in the events in the cups. I believe Franza got day 1 twice, and I think Metzao only entered one because I think they signed up incorrectly or something, and then didn't do super well in the other one. I think they got day 2'd. To me, when you look at these two players in the context of where LATAM has been over the last couple sets, I feel like if France or Metzao goes top 16, then all of a sudden, like that's a result that they should be proud of. And I actually feel like there's a lot of LATAM fans that would feel good about that, right? That it's like, wow, these two players that came up through our scene, especially when you consider the fact that in order to win their sub-regional event, they had to beat players like Michael Altanawe, Tex Summers, Cheche, all these players that we have seen not only be storied competitors in LATAM, but also in the Americas and on the world stage. I think that they should be proud if they get 10th or 11th or even a top 16. And so it's called temper expectations, but it doesn't mean that we're expecting them to go dead last. It just means that there's another goal that they can be proud of.
Yeah, I think that's fair. I think there is some redundancy between the idea behind unknown quantities and temporary expectations.
Let's kill it then.
I think that's totally fine. Yeah, that's totally fine. And for what it's worth too, I think like any player should be proud to do well at regionals at the end of the day. But I guess it's like, I think the temporary expectations is a good title for the category.
Agreed.
Yeah.
Also, I believe Metzao has like 1.2k games played on one server and then like 400 played on another or something insane like that. This guy's a grinder. I will say that is the common theme I've learned from the LATAM players. All 3 LATAM players, well, specifically, definitely 2 of them. I forget Franze off the top of my head, but he did very well in the sub-regional stuff. Metzau and Vicious, both huge grinders of the game. So yeah, shout out to them.
As many of these players are.
Let's move on to Casper Wu.
I'd say underdogs.
Underdog. Agreed.
He's like the day one or W type thing, but even more volatile, I would say.
Yeah.
Right?
I was kind of a Casper hater. Not hater, but like a downer for a while.
Hate watcher.
No.
Playing on his downfall.
But
wow,
I saw Casper very similar to Darth Noob, where it's like his tournament stats were not great, even if his results were okay. And I felt like people didn't look at that for a long time. And I think now people have kind of realized that. But he has had some good events. I mean, last set, did he win an event, or was he top 2? Something like that. He did really well in one of the events last set. And over the last few sets, he's had some good moments. But I would still be surprised to see him top 8. Right, so I think
he's underrated as well. Like I agree with you totally. I think he's like he's kind of like Rain Light. Like he has like really high highs and like really low lows. I feel like sometimes he just cooks up some weird. I man after my own heart. He cooks up some weird shit sometimes, and it does not work.
Wait,
yeah, he 3rd in a cup last set, but just like very middle of the pack this set, 24th, 36th. So like, just I don't know.
Those aren't bad
kind of
results,
an underdog.
though. Yeah, I think underdog's fair, but those aren't bad results.
I mean, no one here is gonna have bad results for what it's worth, though.
Well,
right?
that's...
like they're in regionals.
Some people do have bad results. Yeah.
Oh, gee.
Well, like the sub-regional qualifications from LATAM and Brazil. Like a lot of those players didn't need to do well in the cups. Also, Jack, I don't think this is weird.
No, that's Forsen.
No, I don't think this is Forsen.
Oh, because he's Forsen's Smurf account.
Who's Forsen?
Forsen is the guy. He's a streamer who he's called. That's why he's called Forsen's Smurf account.
Yeah,
he's like pretending to be Forsen's Smurf account.
Okay.
Wow, you just showed your age, Nick.
Dude, I have no idea who this is, but I'm positive that's not weird.
That is not weird.
Someone's not terminally online.
No,
is all I can say.
My bad, everyone. Okay, so anyway, spoiler for the audio listeners, we're up to weird now. Weird. I feel like weird is also underrated or underdog.
I would put him an underdog. I don't think people are rating him too low. I would be surprised if he made a run this tournament, and that's no flame. Even when he did it last time, it felt like he just went on a miracle run and made it to Worlds, which was great to watch, and I really enjoyed it. It would be a surprise again to see that happen.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm fine with that personally. You have any thoughts, Sully? You cool with that?
I'm cool with that. Yeah.
Okay. McMano is up. This is another Brazilian player. Just to give like kind of quick groundwork on McMano, this is a player who got in through qualifier points. They advanced to multiple stages of the different cups, but they bombed out very hard on the days that they got eliminated. So McMano has one of the 4th lowest AVP in the field. And the big thing I talked about in my notes is, it's actually very similar for the other Brazilian player who's right after McMano, Cash. I feel like this is a player who has not shown low roll resistance in the new era of TFT. I think all of the players who hit Challenger are, at least are good at piloting high roll. I think a lot of the times the difference maker is how well do you do with like standard, normal roll or low roll. And I feel like McMano has not showed resistance to low roll, and that has manifested in multiple poor performances on the days in which he's eliminated.
If I were to put one of the Brazilian players in temper expectations, it would probably be McMano for me. It's just a player that has the least amount of regionals appearances from Brazil, and just again has the volatile performances that you're talking about.
I think that's fair. I think that shape makes sense to me.
That's fair.
Cash is very similar. Very, very similar story.
Ooh.
The only difference really being here that Cash had a slightly worse AVP this set. That said, Cash is more known internationally.
Let me tell you something.
Oh, you got something about Cash?
I got something about
Ooh.
Cash.
Oh, okay.
This Cash guy, so you know how NA has become a little bit of a super server, right?
Yep.
What rank do you think this guy was today on the NA server?
This seems like a loaded question.
Like-
He hit rank 4 today
Really?
on NA.
Beast mode.
I'm just gonna say I would put him at least underdogs, if not underrated, because I think this guy studies really hard and plays really good TFT. It just has not showed up yet in a tournament setting. So just saying.
Interesting. I'm willing to put him as an underdog. Let's do it.
Sure.
Sick.
So BO, we've talked a lot about the players who are towards the bottom of AVP and kind of historical performances internationally. Brazil, BO is not one of those players. BO has kind of bursted onto the scene, made Worlds in set 10, had another Worlds run last set, and let me just say, one of the most entertaining players to watch in TFT.
I love this guy.
I called him the most electrifying man in TFT. He's the Bobby Scar of TFT, and I stand by it. I think I put Sobio as a contender. I don't know how you all feel.
Fuck it. I mean, if he's the Bobby Scar of TFT, put him in favorites, man.
That's right. That's right.
No, I totally agree with you. 2 Worlds appearances already, and going 14th and 15th at Worlds.
Yep.
I mean, how could he not be someone that you'd be like, yeah, this guy could win it, we'll make it back to Worlds. I would not be surprised.
Ripple Overdrive is a hard.
I'd say contenders.
Yeah, to me, he's either day one or W or contender, because I think Ripple's peaks are very similar to, I think, the way you guys talk about Rainplosion. I think that when Ripple is in form and at his best, he is as good as the favorites. But
yeah, that's fair. I would go either way.
Don't know if he's always in that form.
I would put him in contenders, and here's why. He is one of 2 people that have made it to 3 straight regionals since the merging of the regions, and has not made it to Worlds. Him and Prestivant are the 2 that have qualified for each of those Golden Spatulas and not made it. And so I think there is incredible consistency there, so you'd expect them to contend. But again, they haven't shown anything to prove that they're going to make it out. So
I'm down. I love that. Also, great fact. Love having commentators on this show.
Drop
This
it
is
on
great.
you.
That's good. That's like that's a gangly fact. Like, I didn't know that, but that's a gangly fact. I didn't know that. Though.
Yeah.
I can't take credit for that.
Get in with the gangle.
Yeah. K3 Soju. I feel like this one might be
Contenders?
completely unanimous. Oh, I was actually going to say day one or W.
We made a tier for this guy.
That's fair. I mean, I feel like in tournament, though, I feel like he's like pretty consistent. Right? I think he plays very different on ladder compared to tournament.
He does. I mean, he is like the lowest. Well, I can't say with certainty that he's actually the lowest, but he's certainly among the lowest 8th place rates in the history of TFT in tournament.
I would be really surprised if he didn't do well, but I would be surprised if he won, I think, is how I feel about it.
That's a contender then.
Yeah, I would say contender. Yeah. I think he's just consistent, I think, in tournaments. I don't think he's nearly his first rate.
Behind that.
Yeah.
He usually does show up. I mean, the last time he was at regionals was set 10, and I will say, set 10 regionals, Soju looked good. He looked
real good.
Very good. I remember he was playing a lot of tempo stuff that people were not willing to play. I forget what that was.
He totally changes how he plays in tournament compared to ladder.
He played like Fast 8 Pentakill, I think, or something. I kind of forget how that line worked, but I think people weren't playing it because it capped much lower. And he was super willing to play around it by just slamming like bruiser items. And I remember being really impressed with his day one performance in set 10 regionals.
It's very rare that he's just super bad in the tournament. Like I can't even. Well, I guess like the open would be the time he like bombed out in a tournament. There's like 3 games though with weird things.
I
I feel
don't
like he
know.
often just does well.
I don't know if I agree that like it's not often that he shows up to a tournament not in form, that he does poorly in tournament. I think it's more that when he shows up to tournament and he's in form, he looks really good.
Yeah.
Which is kind of why I put him in wanted to put him day one or W, because there's a lot of times he just like is kind of goofing off on ladder, and then he goes into trials and he just gets like day 1 or day 2 on trials and doesn't even make it to the cup. Like that's happened.
Wait, really?
That's happened
Is it
multiple
actually?
times. Yeah.
Oh,
So like,
I thought, yeah, that's surprising. I didn't actually realize he had missed a
I don't
cup.
think I'm lying. Hold on. Now I kind of want to fact check myself. This is based off my head.
I mean, I think he hasn't any set besides this set at the very least. He's always been in the cup at least up to this set, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
This set he's good. Yeah, last set set 11 he got eliminated in trials twice.
Oh, okay.
Last set, and last set his results were not great in cups.
It's the last 2 sets. He's just not really had the success he's looking for. But this set has been different as far as like him and all of his friends in the study group are like, no, like Soju, he's like really good right now. And so I could totally, I can see the consistency this set.
I mean, if he's consistent,
I think he's
consistent.
Yeah.
And if he's not consistent, he's day 1 or W. So let's put him in contender. I'm down to believe in Soju because I think it's fun to root for Soju.
Agreed.
Yeah, like, I think he's like a lot. Yeah, I just think he's consistent. I don't know. My opinion of him in tournament is that he just plays like consistent. He plays lines that are consistent. He plays tempo-y. He plays Hanako 8th a lot. You're like, that's my opinion of how he plays in a tournament, just in general. Again, results may say otherwise, and that's probably the thing to look at more, which you guys are obviously more in tune with. But
it's funny. I feel like you guys have similar. You probably have very similar stats, even though I do feel like you play differently. Like you also play for middle placements, like Soju, much more than you play for firsts. But I don't think that you do it by playing around tempo, and I feel like he does it by playing high tempo.
He does it by playing a lot of the meta comps really well. Like in TC2, he played Sorks like I think it was like 5 out of 6 games the last day. And because he was just like, yep, I have AP items, I'm playing Sorks. Like that's just plays it really well. He's really fundamental. Yeah.
I think he plays like a more meta tempo, and I play like a more like
weird,
like freeform tempo, like weird tempo. Yeah. I do think I play tempo in tournament for what it's worth. But it's definitely like a different thing.
Okay. I think maybe the reason I'm getting caught up on that is like I definitely think of you as like one of the high tier rerollers, and I don't think of him as one of the high tier rerollers.
I think the reason why is that the way I play tempo is that I don't play tempo like I'm always trying to be strong. I play tempo and like I know when I should be strong. I think he plays a lot to like always be strong in tournament.
Yeah. You're like a thoughtful, like a philosopher, kind of like watching. A watcher at the rim. That's what you are. You play like a watcher at the rim.
I mean, but yeah, there's a lot of things that work, I think, in tournaments. And it's funny because there's a lot of different play styles. And even in this regionals, there's like a trillion different play styles. It's just cool that a lot of things can work.
Yeah,
all right,
very, very cool.
Let's try to run through some of these last ones because it's already 9:20. So Marcel P, I would consider
underrated.
An underdog. Oh, interesting. You think he's underrated?
I do. I think his competitive gaming history and also just the amount he studies TFT. This is his first regionals, but I think that he's one of those players that could really easily make a run.
Oh man, interesting. I am not ready to believe in I first off, I think Marcel's awesome. I got to speak to him a little bit at Macau. He seems like an awesome guy. I don't know that he really has the results for me to justify saying he's underrated, though. Like, what has he really done? Is there something in particular that you feel like, oh, people don't get that this guy is going to pop off? Because to me, I feel like if he placed alongside these guys, it would make more sense to me than if he placed next to Dank Memes.
I just think he has the ability. I mean, there's not a lot. It's more of on a feel and watching him play. I really enjoy watching him play. So that's just where I would put him. But I totally understand underdog would be a
I
place for him.
don't think that like the fact that he was a pro in Clash Royale, I think that
Wait, was he?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
He was a pro in
Based.
Clash Royale. I do think
does
that
that
actually
look
does
like?
mean a lot. Like, I think there are a lot of players that do well during the regular season and then go into the Golden Spatula and kind of fall apart, or the regional finals, whatever the event's called during that set. It's not uncommon. So I could be convinced if your argument is like, this guy is going to play the most like himself in the field because he won't be affected by nerves compared to the other players in underdogs.
Yeah,
But
I don't really have any data or anything to back that up. He doesn't really have that performance that you're like, yeah, this guy can win tournaments. So
all right, let's just go with the
understand why it
CLE
wouldn't be
vibe check underrated.
Vibe
Marcel
check.
P. Move on. Lucas is such a wild card, man. This guy goes into every regional finals with horrible AVP across the regular season, and then
I think with the Worlds.
and then he just makes it to Worlds every single time. He is just like a format player, I think. He just knows when to turn it on. He's the title of Brazil. This guy just, when his back is up against the wall, knows how to turn on the jets and make a deep run. I don't know if I would like, it's hard for me to say that he's a contender, but it's also hard for me to not say he's a contender because of his history at regional finals events. I think this guy has made, I think I wrote it down. I think he's made top 8 at almost every regional finals he's entered. Yeah, ready? In the 9 regional finals that Lucas has competed in, he's placed top 8 in 7 of them.
What?
So like, doesn't he kind of just automatically get contender for that reason?
He's got to, yeah. I mean, 100%, yes.
Okay.
That's
Replay.
insane.
I have
Very similar to
That's his
Theo.
favorites.
Yeah, favorite.
Agreed.
Yeah.
I
mean,
don't think we need to
that's
talk about that.
self-explanatory.
Yeah, self-explanatory for sure. Vicious. Sully, I don't know if you know anything about this guy, but he is the only Latin American player to get in through qualifier points.
He's already going to Worlds.
He is already going to Worlds. He's locked into Worlds.
Okay.
He's made it to multiple regional finals from LATAM and narrowly missed Worlds qualification twice by 2 positions.
Yeah.
So he was 4th, I think, when it was top 2, and then 5th when it was top 3. So he's made it to the end. He's done well, but he's kind of lived in the shadow of the other Latin American greats. I feel like he's underrated for those reasons.
Sounds about right, I would
100%
say.
agree.
Okay. Wajan Iverson, favorite?
I put him in favorites. Yeah.
Agreed.
He's too good.
He's just so good at the game.
Yeah, Cisco also. I mean, I think Cisco Dish Soap definitely has to also be in favorites.
Yeah. These are all unordered for anyone watching. Nothing here is actually ordered. Let's talk.
They're actually the exact order that is on the screen. You should be mad about it if you're on this, by the way, and this is bruised your ego. Please reach out in a DM, call us some bad names.
That's right.
And let it out. Those are not feelings you want inside. You need to throw them at other people.
We should say, if anyone has started watching halfway through this, that this is not a tiered list of first through last. These are categories of players, and these categories do not imply that this grouping of players, day 1 or W, is better than contenders, which are better than underrated, which are better than underdogs. These are simply categories of players and descriptions of said players within that category, not an ordered list of 1 through 32.
When Nick and I were talking about this show, and we're like, do we power rank people? Do we like make it and put them in order? Or it's like, but no, it's really like some of these people just fit in certain buckets of like, these people we expect to win. These people we expect to either have a really good showing or go dead last. These are the people that are always going to be right at the top. And these are people that no one is paying attention to that they should be. Like none of those people are bad. All of these people are incredibly good. And so in no way is this in order.
Yep. Okay, so the last player that we have to talk about is Me First or Eighth. So similar to Dank Memes in set 12, Me First or Eighth is another one of those players that I had listed as like the not so usual suspects. He won the first cup in set 12, I'm pretty sure. And then I felt like this set is just kind of a continuation of his story from set 12, right? Where it's like this guy kind of comes in. He's been around. I believe he's connected to Taiwanese study groups. Like I think he might be related to a Taiwanese content creator. One way or another, unknown quantity in set 12, does really well, makes it to regionals, and now has continued the story. Had two. So I know he made final day once. I think he might have gotten.
He went second in TC2.
Okay, and then he got day 2'd in the other one. Is that what it was?
65th, yeah. Or last.
Oh, okay. So he got tiebreaker.
Yeah.
But like, tiebreaker on day 1 is basically day 2.
Yeah.
I feel like Me First Wraith has put up a solid season, and I certainly would not put them in the category of like the players we have fewer expectations for. I think I'm just not ready to put them in contenders. It's more a question of whether they're like community perception, if they're too low, or if they're actually an underdog.
Weird and Me First Wraith feel very similar to me. Of like they've had some really good performances, but like not enough to prove to me that they're they just like had a couple good performances. Now Me First Wraith has done it twice now,
Twice in a row too,
cool.
which is not nothing.
Right. So that's where I could see it being underrated, but I would still not be like they're still just an underdog to me.
Hey, you know what? Not for nothing, they also won. They also went second in the sub-regional event for the first cup.
Yep.
Which, it's a sub-regional event. It's a different field, but it's still not easy to go second. Especially like the final day of those tournaments are hard.
You're convincing me that this guy's a tournament beast.
I feel like Me First Wraith might be underrated.
I'm gonna agree. I'm down.
Sully, are you cool with that?
Yeah.
All right. Well, then that concludes our breakdown of the regionals field. And with that,
didn't take nearly as long as I thought it would.
No.
I thought we were going to be here for an hour and a half.
Well, we were here.
And by an hour, I mean 2 hours. Yeah.
Okay. Well, now we can actually move on to the final portion of the show, which is the fantasy draft. Jack, you had an idea of asking chat to determine the pick order. If you want to do that, we can. Otherwise, I don't mind if you pick first. I also don't mind if you want to go last or second. I feel like you should pick your spot because you're the guest.
Oh, then give me 3. I want the turn.
Okay. Woo! All right, Sully, you and I get to rock, paper, scissors. Ready? Rock, paper, scissors, shoot. I win.
I can't see your hand.
I won. Just trust me, I
Okay.
won.
Oh, he did win. Actually, he won.
I believe you.
I see it.
He just got mind gamed. All right. Then I'll start us off. Sully, can you see? You guys can both see this sheet, all right? Right?
I can see it on stream.
Wait, you can't.
I can't see it on. No, it says a starting soon screen for me on.
Wait, have you guys been seeing the preview screen this entire time? Why did no one?
I've just been watching the stream. I don't know.
I've been watching the stream too. Yeah.
You guys are crazy. Okay, now you can see it on OBS or on video, right?
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah. Okay, you can see that better. Okay, I will start us off. I'm gonna first pick replay. Toronto Ultra's very own
beast.
I want dank memes.
Oh, wait, really?
Let's go.
Yep.
Okay.
Give me dish soap and Spencer.
Oh man.
That's the easiest 3-4 of my life.
Wajan.
Okay. Where'd he go? Where is he? Here he is. Oh man. I mean, I think I have to take Setsuko. Lots of people to pick here, though. This is a toughie.
Ooh, who's he gonna go with?
This is hard. This is actually very hard.
I know who you should go with. There's one person left in your favorites tier that's not been picked.
I know, but
ooh, whoa, Nick.
You're right.
You gotta put your own mouth.
You're right. Okay, I pick Liquid Ego.
I'll take Rain.
Oh, why did my camera die?
Ooh.
Uh-oh.
Bye, Nick.
Uh-oh.
He's gone.
Bye, buddy.
The space heater got him.
Back. Yeah, right. All right, Jack, you're up.
I am taking Prestivant and JD Zielinski.
Oh, dude, that's a killer turn.
I'll take Malala.
Oh, yeah.
Malala. Okay. Also, I should have outlined this for the chat, but we all get 10 players. So we will be drafting all but 2 players in the field and calculating total points based on calculate scoring based on points, I think we said, right? Yeah.
Yeah, Nick, you're gone again.
I don't know why.
Where are we going?
It's so weird. My camera's just dying. But it's not
RIP.
possible because it's plugged in. So I don't exactly know what's going on here.
It's a space heater diff. It is.
Who do I want?
Overheating.
I'm gonna go Ripple. And
Ooh.
I'm gonna go Soju.
I'll go Basso.
Man, I was kind of
Okay.
hoping I could snag him.
All right, I'm putting my money where my mouth is. Give me Marcel P.
Holy, okay.
And also give me cash.
Oh man, that is like the believers draft.
Listen, I have a solid top 4, and I can just stick. I can ride those guys. These are my my dark horses. They're gonna win me the whole thing.
I'm gonna go Lucas.
Dang. Okay. Well, I gotta take my tri-state boy. Kevy Zhao, you're coming with me. We got one more. Oh, holy. How did Bio make it this far? He's mine.
I'll go Darth Noob.
I'm gonna take Vicious
Nice.
and I'm gonna take Sakuran.
Oh man. The wild card.
I'm gonna go me first or 8th.
Okay. I'll go Weird. And Cam.
I'll go
Just so
Casper.
you know, Vapa Casa is Copico. So what did you say?
I'll go Casper.
Casper? Oh, I didn't even see Casper was on here still. Holy.
Me too.
Think carefully, Jack. You don't get any more picks. These are your 2 final
I
picks in
know.
the draft. Your anchors.
Okay, I'm gonna go with Pizza and Copico.
Okay.
I'll go Cookies.
You fools. Fell for my trap. All
Which
this
trap?
time, you guys thought that the tier list we were making before was designed to have a fair outcome. But no, it was designed to get you guys off the scent of...
What are you trying to say right now, bro?
I'm stalling. I'm stalling because I don't know. Let's go McMano. McMano, you're mine. And so unfortunately, Metzau and Frante B have both not been drafted. They'll both be sitting on the sidelines. Oh, I mean, they'll be playing, they'll be competing, but they'll be sitting on the sidelines of our little game. And these are our team. So let's put it in chat. How do you do a poll?
Yeah, I got you.
Whose team is the best? Gangley's team is Replay, Setiko, Ego Illusions, Ripple Overdrive, K3 Soju, Kevy Zhao, Sobio, Weird, Cambuli, and McMano. Appies got Dank Memes, Wajan Iverson, Rainplosion, Malala, Bosso, Lucas, Darth Noob, Me First or Eighth, Casper Wu, and Cookies. And CLE, sitting pretty with Dish Soap, Spencer, Prestivan, JD, Marcel, Cash, Vicious, Sakuran, Pizza, Vapa Casa.
All I'm saying, Dank Memes wins the tournament. That's all I'm saying. Yep, he's my favorite to win.
Out.
Hey, you got your guy. You sure did.
I did get my guy. I stand by that. I think he is the best player in the field right now, and currently.
I do think on paper, Appies is the best. Like, if you were to take like the average of where I would expect all these people to be, but then you look at mine, and you got the winners in there, all of them, all 5 of them are winning, all 12 of them, all 10 of them are winning. So,
Yeah.
same.
I think you guys are all underrating Kevy Zhao. This guy's going top 8. I have the rest of the top 8 in my top 6 pick. My top 8 is just straight up the top 8. That's crazy. I actually did it. No, I think
you guys don't realize is that dank memes. If you just like go through and watch all these guys play TFT, there's one guy who actually enjoys playing TFT. One guy who like has genuine fun playing TFT, and that's gonna make him better.
Okay.
I literally have the guy that has gone on record saying, I want to be the GOAT of TFT, hands down, having no argument. And I got him at the 3rd pick. What?
I mean, that doesn't mean he enjoys TFT. That means he enjoys being good at TFT.
Yeah.
That's true.
That's right. I've got the heart of the game.
Yeah, dank memes just loves the game.
I've got 3 Brazilians on my team. I've got heart. If nothing else, my team has heart.
I have 2 Brazilians and the only LATAM player drafted, so I have all of LATAM behind me. What are you going to do?
That's right. Okay, well, that's going to do it for High Roll Radio, episode number 25. Before we go, Jack, I'll give you a second. Anything you want to say or shout out before you go? We didn't have any callers, so I'll give you the platform at the end of the calls.
I'm just the permanent caller. That's that's my role today. Thanks for having me. I love talking TFT. My whole goal with a lot of the stuff that I post on X or Reddit or wherever it is just to create more fans of TFT and inform people on some lesser known players. And so I hope that you guys follow along with that and that Nick decides to stop leaving.
I know.
That's where I'll leave that.
Back. All right. Well, Sully, anything you want to say before we go?
Yeah, you guys want to play League after?
Yes.
I gotta get my TFT games in. For anyone who doesn't know.
Okay, wait, you got the night is young, Nick. All right, Jack just said yes. 1 game of League.
I gotta pass Jack and LP. Jack's
I went second today.
Yeah, so I gotta go 2-2 to catch up. So yeah, probably not. I kind of gotta lock in because hypothetically I might be casting. Anyway,
I need to reach out to Johnson.
This has been High Roll Radio episode number 25. Thank you all for watching live. Make sure you check us out on YouTube. You can also follow us on Twitter. You can also follow the 3 of us with our individual Twitters here as well. But we will catch you all most likely after Worlds, maybe set 14 PBE. We'll do another episode.
Ooh. Something
so
like
stay
that.
tuned. Yeah, just make sure to follow us on Twitter and stuff, and you'll
YouTube as well at High Roll Radio on YouTube.
All right, well that's gonna do it for us. So have a good night, everybody, and we'll catch you later.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.